How to make chocolate ice cream. We have pieces of chocolate here. We're gonna let it melt in a water bath. You should never put chocolate directly onto the fire because it will catch and burn. We can solve the recipe. So the next thing we need is 6 eggs, 300 grams of sugar, a liter of milk and 3 bags of vanilla sugar. So we have the milk here. We're gonna cheat a little bit on this recipe because I don't want to make a liter of ice cream. So half a liter. We're gonna cut the rest of the recipe in half. Get some sugar here. We need a bit more, just a bit. There we go. A bit too much, but nobody will notice. Ice cream is supposed to be sweet, right? And 6 eggs, which in our case means 3. What does the recipe says? It says, mix the eggs with the shaker, put the milk on the stove to boil, and so on. So we're gonna mix the eggs with the sugar. Okay, take the sugar, put it in a bowl where we can mix. Now we need 3 eggs. You should always crack eggs separately not directly into the mix, because of the possibility of shells and also because of the possibility the egg could be bad. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand. And that's what happens, you see? Now we need to take this out. Because I was showing off and doing it with one hand, but I wasn't really showing off. I can't hold the camera any other way. Okay, so all 3 eggs are okay. Now you just throw them into the sugar. Take that to the mixer and we'll just mix it all. You need to mix it until it becomes foamy like this and most of the sugar is dissolved. Later we're going to put the chocolate in here. Let's check on the chocolate. Melting slowly. The water, as you see, is boiling and at 100 degrees. Yes, boiling, fogs up the camera. Consult the recipe again. So as we read, we need to put the milk on the stove for it to boil. When it starts boiling, we'll put the eggs in that milk, add the sugar with vanilla, and wait for it to boil a bit, and then let it cool. And then we'll freeze that. When you're cooking milk, never put it on a too strong of fire. So this is the smallest I have. Put the pot on here. Pour the milk in and turn it on. Put the milk on a tempered fire so that it doesn't catch. Now we wait for this to boil. The chocolate is coming along nicely here, and the eggs and sugar are waiting for us here. If you like thick ice cream, I suggest you add a bit of cream into the milk and let it boil together. So what I'm adding here is about 100. I'm gonna say 100 mils of cream into the milk. And to make the ice cream real thick, because the milk I used is UHT with 1.5% of milk fat, which to me is very skim milk. I like my milk thick and greasy. Yes. And well, we need something to... When you have UHT milk on the fire, you should mix it every once in a while, because it may explode. There's the chocolate. I really should get something to mount this camera anyway. Well, it's not a camera, it's just my phone. Something. I need two hands. And that's it. We can consult the recipe again, but to make sure we didn't miss anything, no, that's it. I'm gonna pause the video again. Now that we have the chocolate nice and soft, and the milk is already on the verge of boiling, yep, it's gonna boil any minute now, we need to put all these together. So what we are going to do now is put this soft chocolate into the milk. It's not as soft as I wanted to, I wanted it completely liquid, but there are parts of nuts in it, because I used leftover chocolate, so it didn't quite liquefy. We're going to dissolve this in the milk and then add the eggs. So I need to place this camera somewhere. Yeah, I'm just going to pause it. While you are adding things to the milk, turn the fire off. You see, nice and boiling. Have the foam and everything. Now we need to add the chocolate. When you add, don't just splat it in. Mix it slowly so that it doesn't catch. With everything that we are doing, there's a large possibility of it catching, and that wouldn't be too good, would it? If we want to make ice cream. We'll have some more chocolate. Now we got basically chocolate milk. Chocolate dissolved in the milk. We need to dissolve it so that we don't have large chunks like these. But since the milk is hot, this won't be a problem. You see, we still have chunks like this, and we need to mix it. I'm lazy, I know. This is the quickest way out. Just be careful not to splatter everywhere. That's what I'm doing this. On and on before you can get to even the lowest speed setting it has. And check. You see that all the chocolate has dissolved. Nice chocolatey milk, okay. I'm just going to wake up these eggs and sugar. And now add them to the mix. While you're adding, you need to constantly keep mixing. Constantly. Now that we have completed that, just the last piece, vanilla sugar to give it some aroma. We turn the fire back on. And as the recipe says, we wait for it to boil 2 to 3 times. Look at what mess we made. While we're waiting, I want to tell you about this new iced tea by Fructal. I just tried it because you can get it really cheap because there's some sale, and it's really good. You should try it. You need to keep stirring. This will be enough. We'll take it off the fire and let it cool. Now we'll just pour it into the machine so it will freeze into nice and smooth ice cream.